Nerd Vengers, what is up? It is Josh. Welcome to another morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live. It's the best way to start your nerdy day. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Now, we're going to get into some really cool stuff about Boba Fett, the Book of Boba, Mandalorian Season 3, and the conflicting reports, ladies and gentlemen, the conflicting reports out there about whether or not we are going to be getting Season 3 of The Mandalorian right on schedule or whether or not it's going to be delayed. Again, conflicting reports, so we definitely want to get into all of that. We'll save some time for Q&A as we always do, and so let's just go ahead and get right into this. Now, if you don't know what the whole series of events were leading up to this situation where there are now conflicting reports about what is going on with The Mandalorian Season 3, let me try to just take you through the simple timeline of events, okay? So, Variety, I believe it was Variety. Sorry if it's not. Look, the coffee's still going into my blood. You know, I'm still waking up a little bit. You know, I'm sure many of you are feeling the same way, waking up. It's a summertime Thursday, you know what I mean? After Loki Wednesday. By the way, how many times have you watched Loki episode 1? Put it into the chat. I'm just curious. Yeah, so I think it was Variety. They had the actor-on-actor interview with Pedro Pascal and with Ewan McGregor, okay? We talked about this on the Nerdy News Rundown yesterday. It was a very cool interview. The full interview, or at least the fully produced interview, came out yesterday on Variety. It has a lot of cool little tidbits in it. However, before it fully came out, there were some comments made in that interview that were sort of teased. They were teased out by Variety, and they made news before the actual thing even came out. And this was about Pedro Pascal saying that they have not even started to film The Mandalorian Season 3 yet, okay? So this was pretty crazy. People obviously thought, what the heck, dude? Like, when are you going to do Season 3? What's going on with Season 3? Is it going to be delayed, et cetera, et cetera? Now, Jordan Mason, who is a pretty reliable scooper and insider, sort of chimed in, along with others online, and basically said that that this is not true, that he knows that the show has been filming. And we had reported on this, actually, on NNR, I believe it was Tuesday, talking about how a lot of the people that I reached out to indicated to me that, yes, Mandalorian Season 3 not only had been filming, but actually may have even wrapped filming, okay? So then, you know, we all sort of just went with what Jordan was saying. We were like, okay, well, if this is indeed the case, then perhaps Pedro was lying, perhaps this was going on, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Then yesterday, Collider chimes in, okay? And they chime in with an exclusive about when The Mandalorian Season 3 is filming and new details on the Book of Boba connection, okay? This article was by Carly Lane, but Steve Frosty Weintraub did contribute to this. And I think this article is probably legit. Okay, so let's read into some of the things being said in this article. Then we'll sort of look back at what Jordan Mason was saying, and we'll try to make sense of what is actually going on, or really speculate about what could be going on. Because let's be real, you know, we don't really know what could be going on, but we do have some information. And I also want to take you back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take you back to when the Pedro Pascal sort of drama sort of first started popping off, right? After, well, basically leading into the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. And the reason this is relevant is because even back then, and I just want to put a little music on, sorry. Even back then, there were many people in the community that were denying that these things were true. I remember several of the connections and sources that I have being flabbergasted when Book of Boba indeed did replace The Mandalorian Season 3 as far as a production schedule. And this is, again, after it was said in a Disney investor call that the Season 3 of The Mandalorian would air in the December of 2021. We know for a fact that is not true. Now it's going to be Book of Boba. So, again, a lot of things sort of being shifted around. Let's first read what Collider says here, okay? While trying to get Star Wars Disney Plus news before the studio announces something can be difficult, sources have provided us with some exclusive updates on The Mandalorian Season 3, The Book of Boba Fett, and Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, which we wanted to share with our readers. Star Wars fans are going to have to wait a little bit longer for more adventures from The Mandalorian. Upcoming spin-off series, The Book of Boba, has officially wrapped filming and is on schedule for a December premiere on Disney Plus. As was previously confirmed, The Mandalorian, which reintroduced Tamara Morrison's bounty hunter to the Star Wars franchise, revealed in the new spin-off at the end of Season 2, The Book of Boba Fett has been filming in Los Angeles on the same stages as the first series created by Jon Favreau for Disney+. The Book of Boba will be a more closely linked spin-off as well, and sources have told us to think of this series as The Mandalorian Season 2.5. Okay, very interesting. With characters from The Mandalorian slated to appear in the series that currently co-stars Ming-Na Wen. Okay, however, Season 3 of The Mandalorian is not currently headed into production. What? That's because the LA stages are, for the moment, in use by the upcoming Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series starring Ewan McGregor in his official return to the galaxy far, far away since Revenge of the Fifth in 2005. The show is set 10 years after the events of the film, and production on the series will reportedly take many months. We hear the plan is for The Mandalorian Season 3 to begin filming at the end of this year or in very early 2022. What that means is the season will not be premiering on Disney Plus until late 2022. The delay in The Mandalorian's filming timeline can also likely, in part, be attributed to actor Pedro Pascal's commitment to the TV adaptation The Last of Us, which is slated to start production in July of this year. Pascal has been cast to play Joel alongside Bella Ramsey's blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, first things first. I mean, what do you guys make of that situation? Because actually, you know what? Actually, here, hang on. I want to look at some other things that Jordan Mason said, because I think he sort of clarifies about why he is not talking about this more, which I think is actually pretty interesting. Forgive me as I scroll through and try to find this. Lots of, I mean, those toys look cool, though. Those toys look cool. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, here we go. The Mando filming stuff. Been avoiding getting into it because there's not much concrete. Filming has been going on for a bit. A while, if something I heard is true. Something else might be going on, too. Maybe a reason it wouldn't technically be considered Season 3. Whoa. Okay. So, but here's the thing. Okay, so this is where I get confused. Because don't we all already know... Wait, are there double chatbots going on right here? Or is it just one? No, it's just one. It's just the fact that the Twitter garbage is making it all weird. Okay, here's what I don't understand. If Jordan Mason is saying, like, over here, there could be something else going on, right? Or maybe a reason it technically wouldn't be Season 3. Like, meaning, I think what he's implying here, and maybe perhaps we're reading too far into it, but that there could even be a second season of Book of Boba. Maybe Book of Boba was shot Season 1, Season 2 back-to-back. Or maybe there really and truly will not be a Mandalorian Season 3. Maybe that is it for The Mandalorian, and the characters, Din Djarin included, will just carry over into other shows. You know what I mean? So just being 100% real with everybody, like, I did reach out to a good bit of people about this, just trying to sort of decipher what was going on. And I was told a couple of different things, right? So I was told about The Last of Us stuff. I said, or rather, some people had told me, yeah, it's possible that The Last of Us has really jammed this up and made it so they wouldn't be able to film with Pedro a lot because of Season 3. But here's the thing about that, right? Just putting the pause button on that thought for just a moment. Wasn't that the whole reason that people thought him signing up for The Last of Us was news, like, didn't we all think, oh, wow, does this confirm that there is some issues with Pedro and Star Wars? Because why would he sign up to do this big project here when the most popular show on television, or, arguably one of the most popular shows on television, streaming, whatever, that he's the freaking star of, right? So I just remember back then, there were a ton of people that just tried to say, there's no drama, there's nothing that happened, there's no beef, there's nothing. I don't know how else to tell you guys that, like, that if you still believe that, if you still hold on to that belief that it was all Gucci Mane and nothing happened, like, there's just way too much smoke to indicate that there is fire. Because regardless of whether or not he will come back and whether or not we will get more Pedro and Mando and Pedro in Star Wars, it's still like a weird look for him to go sign up for this other big thing and that possibly have affected the ability for him to star in one of the most popular shows on television. Are you not picking up the logic here? Do you not understand why that's weird? So even if that's Gucci, it really isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really isn't. Again, going back to when this whole story and this whole drama first kicked off, I remember, guys, I'm talking about legitimately good, connected sources that were shocked that the Book of Boba was a real thing and that it was actually sort of replacing season 3, okay? Like, I remember this. I remember fighting with people behind the scenes and being like, no, I'm pretty sure the Boba Fett show's real. And then especially after it wasn't dropped on the Investor Day thing, which was likely done in hindsight after the drama, basically all cascaded, and they were like, yo, we need to just rip that Boba Fett thing out of the investor call and shoot that and put it for the end of Mando so that we can tease out the future, right? Remember the GMA interview with Johnny Fabs? Love Johnny Fabs. Amazing, amazing creative force. Very grateful for all the work that he has done for the Sweaties. But man, if that GMA interview didn't make me feel all kinds of squirrely. He doesn't mention Pedro's name once. He like talks about the star but doesn't mention Pedro's name. When he's asked about Book of Boba replacing Mando 3, it's not a clear-cut answer. It's really squirrely. You know what I mean? So what is going on with The Mandalorian Season 3? I don't know exactly, but according to Collider and according to what I would say, even if you look at Jordan Mason's sort of rebuttal, right, where he says it's been filming. You know what I mean? If you look at that tweet where he's like, the Mando filming stuff, I've been avoiding getting into it because there's not much concrete. Well, if there's not much concrete, then how can we take what you're saying, Jordan, like as anything, really? You know what I mean? Filming has been going on for a while, if something I heard is true. He's likely hearing that it's not only been filming, but that it's wrapped. That's what he's probably referring to there. Something else might be going on too. Well, what's that something else? Maybe a reason it wouldn't technically be considered season 3. Okay, so maybe there is no Mandalorian season 3. Maybe Pedro is going to be reduced in role of the Filoniverse, and they're just going to move forward with something else, right? We already know Rangers is now gone. It might well be the case that Mando 3 is now gone. And perhaps if some of this stuff is happening, then maybe some of the quiet over at Lucasfilm, particularly around May the 4th, perhaps some of that quiet now makes a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? Perhaps. Another thing that it says in the article, and I find this really interesting, and this is where I want to get into the bit about Marvel and Star Wars. And oh, baby, there's a lot of stuff I want to get into when it comes to Marvel versus Star Wars. You guys know I'm kind of on this-ish as well. I definitely think there's a beef. How big is the beef? I don't know. But I know that I feel confident that there's a beef. There's a Marvel Star Wars beef. And we might be just living in the beginning stages of this Marvel Star Wars beef. And we're going to talk about that, okay? But when it comes to The Mandalorian and to Star Wars and to the future, it could make sense as to why there was no announcements on May the 4th, right? If a lot of this trouble's going on. That's sort of the first point, right? They mentioned in the article that Obi-Wan filming using the soundstage, using stagecraft in L.A. is the reason that Mando 3 is not going into production. Do you guys believe that? Like, do y'all believe that? Because I guess where I'm at with it is, how many Marvel projects are filming right now? How much Marvel stuff is being created right now? I think they're making a lot of Marvel, bro. I think they're making a lot of Marvel. I think Marvel is shooting on multiple continents right now. I think Marvel is shooting on multiple sound stages right now. And as I started to really think about this, right, if you're Disney and you only have so many places that you can be filming, you only have so many sound stages. I think they've got 3 big stagecraft locations, one in Australia, one in England, and one in LA. So you're telling me that Marvel can film a million freaking things right now. Like, literally film and put into production a million things. A million things. There's literally a million of them. I counted them. But Star Wars can't put... I mean, look, let's just get this real. They're saying they can't put into production Mandalorian Season 3 because Kenobi is using the stagecraft? Isn't the whole idea of the stagecraft to be like you can just upload a different set, bring in props, and be able to shoot very easily? I thought the whole idea of the stagecraft was to make it really easy to film. You know what I mean? So I know they're saying it could be because of Obi-Wan, but in all likelihood, it's probably more because of Marvel. If it's really a budding for stagecraft, space, or even cast and crew, right? Is it maybe it's crew, the people to work these things or whatever? Maybe it's the separate the ability of Disney to scout location. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's more likely that the Marvel stuff is getting priority over the Star Wars stuff. And again, this could end up being part of that situation that behind the scenes, there could be some beef between Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige. I want to read an article with y'all. I want to go through an article with y'all. And then we'll get into Q&A, guys, okay? I just want to go over this article, give you some of my thoughts about it, and get into Q&A. By the way, we're on the dual monitor setup today, and I'm so happy to finally have dual monitors. I can't believe it took me this long to get dual monitors. It's absolutely incredible to be able to have this kind of freedom. There's so much room for activities on the dual monitors. You know what I mean? But it is really, really freaking bright over here because I was gaming like a mother trucker. So sorry about the light blasting me out of the sky. But here we go. This is from the hashtag show. It says, could Kathleen Kennedy be trouble for Kevin Feige Star Wars? Maybe one of the first times I ever saw a headline that sort of was agreeing with the thought process that I'm on with what could be happening here. Okay, here, let's read from this article. In at least one way, Kathleen Kennedy has been a godsend for Star Wars. The oft-maligned president of Lucasfilm has faced her fair share of criticism, but tapping Jon Favreau to produce The Mandalorian is arguably the best decision of her tenure. Yeah, I would say, throw some respect on Cowboy Dave, now creative executive whatever, of her tenure. Favreau was able to immediately translate his Marvel success to the galaxy far, far away. Disney, Lucasfilm's parent company, is banking on that success again. As we know, Marvel's head Kevin Feige will also produce a Star Wars feature film. While we don't know much about it, we do know Michael Waldron will write the film. But could that be a problem? Waldron is no stranger to Marvel and Kevin Feige. The Rick and Morty alumni is the head writer for the upcoming Loki series on Disney Plus that's set to debut Wednesday, according to Variety. Feige was so impressed with Waldron's work on the series, he assigned him to write the next Doctor Strange film as well. The duo's partnership doesn't end there. They will team up again on Star Wars, an honor Waldron relishes. Star Wars, Indiana Jones. She's made some of my favorite movies, so to get to collaborate with both of those entities is a dream come true. That's him speaking of Kathleen Kennedy. Waldron referencing Kathleen Kennedy is interesting. She hasn't exactly had the best relationship with her Star Wars writers and directors. See Solo, Star Wars Story, and Kennedy's relationship with Colin Trevorrow, for example. Creative differences border on the norm rather than the exception with Kennedy. Waldron's old Rick and Morty boss, Dan Harmon, hinted that while Waldron is great with Kevin Feige, he might not be as great with Kennedy and Lucasfilm. This is a quote from Dan Harmon. You may have heard me already talk about this. It says here, Star Wars is definitely sticky. If you take it too seriously, you're doing it wrong. If you don't take it seriously enough, you're definitely doing wrong. It needs that total joy of the greatest franchise ever, along with a kind of swagger. I do think that Waldron would make a good match for that, but I don't know if he would make a good match for the machine that's carrying that stuff. Emphasis added. Dan Harmon on how Michael Waldron would mesh with Kathleen Kennedy. Will Waldron work for Star Wars, or will we have another Solo on our hands? If anyone has insight with respect to Waldron, it's Harmon. If he doesn't think Waldron will be a good match with Kennedy, well, could a bad fit with Kennedy and Lucasfilm cause a rift with Kevin Feige and Disney? To paraphrase Sheev Palpatine, we shall watch Waldron's career with great interest. Actually, he says that with more of his actual voice around there. So here's the deal. I've talked about this before, and yes, if you hadn't noticed, I'm becoming a Michael Waldron simp. I'm starting to simp for Michael Waldron quite a bit. I really like Loki a lot. Here's the deal, guys. I just find it interesting that this kind of stuff is being reported and talked about. Again, when the news came out about Kevin Feige doing the Star Wars movie, I think Disney, or rather Lucasfilm, may have been caught off guard with how excited fans were about the prospect of Kevin Feige doing Star Wars and also taking over Star Wars. This is actually pretty similar to what happened with Sony and Marvel, in my opinion, okay? So let's take them back to the 90s, or rather to 2019, right? When Kevin Feige, or rather when Sony announced that they were going to basically take Tom Holland's Spider-Man back and not re-sign a deal with Marvel Studios to have Tom Holland and that relationship, move forward. It shocked the world, but in the legal sense, I mean, that was completely Sony's right. They had the absolute legal authority as the owners of the license for that character in live action to do exactly that, to take that character back and do whatever they wanted. But what I think they may have underestimated was how much the fans and the Marvel brand had influenced people to basically be like, no, Feige, and you need to give that back to Feige. Basically, no, it has to be MCU. Okay? That is such strong brand strength. It's actually kind of incredible. Okay? It's kind of incredible that this dude with no actual legal leverage had so much leverage in the public eye and in sort of just out there with fans that he's able to kind of renegotiate a deal to kind of get what he wants. Okay? And that whole situation, which I think we'll eventually learn way more about in the future, was handled with absolute class by Feige, I believe, in my opinion. Okay? So, a similar thing happened with Star Wars, and I think Lucasfilm may have been caught off guard by this, that when Kevin Feige was announced to do the film, when he went on the Star Wars show, when all that stuff started to happen, people like me started to make videos and do thumbnails and talk with their communities about how Kevin Feige Star Wars, if somehow Kevin Feige could take over Star Wars, or even just help a little bit. Come over there, basically slap up that whole creative team, teach them the way, right? I talked a lot about the Star Wars MCU, right? I talked a lot about this stuff because it was stuff that was being told to me. I had heard that they were looking to recreate the success of Marvel. I had heard that Lucasfilm was fully aware of the things that they screwed up, and the screw-ups that they have with the sequel trilogy are numerous. They're numerous. So what happened from that moment in time when it seemed like Star Wars itself was pushing the idea of Kevin Feige being involved to wanting to distance themselves from it, from the Hollywood trades putting out articles talking about how Kevin Feige is not taking over Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy getting an extension, and then I heard from some pretty reliable people Some of you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not going to repeat it. I heard from some pretty reliable people that have pretty good connections that Feige was very willing to do all of that and more. In fact, had already done it with some of the shows. He had helped out a little bit on some of the shows. He had some notes on Kenobi is what I heard. But I heard that Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy said that they're a strong independent studio and they don't need no man. That's what I heard. I heard that they wanted to kill the perception that Kevin Feige would come over and in any way help and or support or save, let's be honest, save Star Wars from what Kathleen Kennedy had done to it. The perception of that being a thing may well have been used to alter the deal, as it were. Alter the deal between Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios. And the other side of this that's interesting to me is that it continues to look like now things have changed. The honeymoon period is over. Okay? There's a little hair in the sink now. Dishes are sitting in the dirty, on the counter for a while. The trash isn't getting taken out. Nobody's backs are getting scratched anymore. The kiss on the cheek when he comes home, it's just not the same. I mean, think about it, guys. The day before May the 4th, Kevin Feige drops a trailer that was like not just a dope trailer, but like one of the coolest fucking like get excited about the movies again kind of things I've ever seen. It was trending on May the 4th, dude. You know what I mean? Think about it. Loki, late in the game, changes its release date. What's up with that? I don't know. Think about it. Jon Favreau hasn't said anything about Star Wars and The Mandalorian Season 3, to my knowledge, since GMA. And yet he shows up at Avengers Campus in person to talk about Avengers Campus with Kevin Feige. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know what all is going on. I'm just here to be a nerd and speculate and talk about some of the things that I've heard with all of you. But if you start to think about it, put your thinking cap on, I think you may arrive at a conclusion that's at least a little less certain than perhaps you had before, that there's no problem, that this would not be a thing. There would be no beef. The Mouse House would not condone such infighting. Well, honestly, guys, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. So anyway, that's kind of the start of the stream. Let's get into some Q&A now, guys. Look, I know everybody's saying that's definitely not a reach. You're really onto something, says Mr. Anderson. Yeah, look, we'll get into Q&A. I want to see what everybody's saying. Go ahead, drop some super chats in. We'll go over every super chat that comes in within reason. Within reason. Some of you guys like to go a little too wild with your super chats. And we'll also spend some time just looking at the chat as well. There's a lot of cool, nerdy things that we could be getting into and talking about. And again, I'm not trying to besmirch Star Wars. I'm not trying to say, oh, Star Wars is totally screwing up. I'm merely trying to report that when it comes to the situation with the old Mandalorian Season 3 there, I'm not sure what's going on, man. But it doesn't seem as clear-cut as we once thought. It doesn't seem as clear-cut as we once thought. All right, let's get into this. Barbaric Riemann says, I believe the other Loki is working for Kang, just like our Loki worked for Thanos. Parallels. Yo, I actually like that a lot. And that could absolutely be the case. That could absolutely be the case. And I'm kind of hoping that could be something, maybe not the Lokis, but other people working for Kang. Kang being a big bad, like a really, really, like, good big bad could be really cool. I hope he doesn't just go away though. I want to see like the Cabal. I think it's time for Marvel to really get this going back on. You know what I mean? Like let's really build this crazy MCU back up post Endgame. John Van Gelderen Jr. says, "How do you think Book of Boba and Ahsoka will set up Mandalorian season 3?" Well, assuming there is a Mandalorian season 3, right? I think, and I still believe, that the general direction that things are going in. Ooh, pardon me. I'm such a pig. The general direction I think things are going in will have to do with Thrawn and, Luke and potentially some sort of recreation of Heir to the Empire. I still strongly feel as though there's a lot of signs that a version of that is what is happening, and that Dave is trying to build towards a grand culmination, possibly even a movie itself, which would be crazy. There's also an outside chance that that's Feige's movie, and he's working directly with Dave and John and building the Mandoverse towards that. And he doesn't want any credit, and he's willing to help with the homies and give them notes. I mean, look, we'll see. But yeah. Cool idea. The Winter Boner, or rather, sorry, I missed the Winter Boners here. He says, to add to last night's stream, the TVA went back and clock behind Steve Rogers. P.S. Take D's boner bucks. Boner bucks. The TVA went back and clock behind. Cock blocked Steve Rogers. Yeah, that's very possible. By the way, if you didn't see the stream last night that Darren and I did, I thought it was a really great stream. We talked about Peggy Carter. We talked about Loki, and it's very interesting. I had a thought today. What if the Peggy Carter you see in Loki episode 1, which I do believe is a Peggy Carter, what if that's Peggy Carter from the What If series? Yeah. What if that's a super soldier Peggy Carter there? And what if that Peggy... Oh, man. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to do a whole nother hour just speculating about that. Thank you, the Winter Boner. And thank you, John, for your support as well. Josh Blancard with the $5 holo says, just saw Loki last night. Curious if you think Mobius may be a Nexus-level Loki who can use camouflage in the TVA, maybe forming Council of Loki. Again, great thought. Absolutely love it. And you know what? You love to see that kind of speculation, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it. It's time we get back into some sweet, sweet speculation time with Marvel, and I'm pumped that fans are having their mental juices worked up this way, man. That's awesome. That is such a cool idea. I don't know if we're getting Council of Loki, but, man, that would be really cool. And I'll tell you this, Josh, I think there's something to that, and I think there's something to Mobius. My personal theory, which maybe you've already heard, and forgive me if you have, but my personal theory is that Mobius is trying to undermine the TVA and possibly working with the other Loki, the one that is the very dangerous variant, and he may well be trying to undermine the TVA, possibly because he knows Kang is actually in charge or something like that. Taylor Falk says, off topic, but I noticed 2 references to Nightmare in Loki. The face on Kablooey gum and the Nightmare department. Boner or something more. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about this, Taylor. I don't know what the deal is with the Nightmare thing. I definitely think there have been a lot of Easter egg sort of teases of Nightmare in WandaVision and also in this series as well. I don't know what to make of it. I really feel like we're going more in the direction of Kang, but it's possible a lot of this is connected to a cabal, right? What if it's connected to a cabal of villains? That could be very, very interesting. I don't know. But I don't think it's necessarily a boner with the Nightmare stuff because it's not like they have a person that's looking like Nightmare or that had voiced Nightmare on a separate show and they're like purposely using that connection to like dingle dangle us. So it's not a boner thing. But it could just be a little Easter egg. You know what I mean? But either way, I appreciate the support. X-Wing says with a $5 holla, didn't Pedro did say they are doing a season 3 in the actor-to-actor interview, though, with Ewan? Yeah, I mean, he said that. Again, it's hard to tell what is he referring to. You know what I mean? Because, look, the truth is, he came out and said this, and then there were people like Jordan Mason that said, no. They definitely filmed season 3, or they're filming it right now. Okay, but then now it's sort of seeming like, okay, maybe that's not Mandalorian season 3. So I think the thing is, people could be referring to stuff as Mando season 3 that might not actually be Mando season 3. Like, what if the Mandalorian season 3 is the Book of Skywalker, and it shows Luke training Grogu and Ben? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying that's what it is, But like there's just not enough to know for sure. I'll say this: I think there probably will be a Mandalorian season 3. Okay, the odds of them totally scrapping that is very low, and also they have the ability to just continue on with those characters regardless. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're saying that the Book of Boba is Mando season 2.5. So that, by the way, is a very Marvel thing as well, right? Where Civil War is a Captain America movie, but it's basically Avengers 2.5. You know what I mean? So, yeah, kind of interesting. And I would say, X-Wing, I would say this. I wouldn't worry per se about it, but I also wouldn't like blindly believe that just everything is fine over there. It's clearly not. That's kind of where I'm at with it. John Van Gelderen Jr. says, what exactly is the beef with Pedro? Okay, so here is the way that it was explained to me. There was beef on the set. There was conflict about him being in the mask more, okay? So I was told very early on that there was conflict with him being in the mask. I got to be honest with you. I was told that was resolved rather quickly originally by some people, okay? But I'm just going to be real, and I'm not trying to call anybody out or hang anybody out to dry. But a lot of the sources that I have, a lot of the people I talk to with Star Wars, they like Lucasfilm too much. Sometimes they lie to themselves about things they're hearing. Sometimes they lie to me about things that they're hearing because they simp so hard for Lucasfilm. So sometimes when I hear things from sources, I have to take it with a grain of salt and try to decipher what it actually means, okay? These people were telling me, yeah, no, the beef was real, but it got resolved rather quickly. I also had some people reach out to me and be like, oh no, it was bad, but a lot of people are just chalking it up to the pandy, chalking it up to the stress of that situation, chalking it up to that. Now, to get even more conspiratorial, it could be connected to something that Gina Carano sort of teased out in her Ben Shapiro interview where she talks about just other weird things that had gone on and how she had gone to bat for somebody else on the set for an interesting situation. I don't know what any of it means, dude, but I do know that it was heavily reported that in the middle or during some time of Mandalorian Season 3, Pedro Pascal leaves set and essentially doesn't come back, either for a while or maybe at all for the rest of the season. That's the reports, okay? Your mileage may vary on how much of that you believe. I personally believe that something like that happened and that they are still probably scrambling. There's just too much weird stuff going on for me to be like, oh, no, it's all better now and everything's good, Nikki says with a $10 holla, I don't think Star Wars delays have anything to do with the MCU. Lucasfilm has enough in-house drama to delay the whole damn slate. Favreau has to reconfigure. Pedro, a diva. Who knows what else? I think that's a totally fair take, Nikki, and it could just be Lucasfilm. It could absolutely just be stuff going on over there. And you're right. It could be just enough to sort of delay things as well. But, yeah, I don't know. I just am starting to get a sense that there's some conflict there between Marvel and Star Wars. And I think it is manifesting itself in some ways. But again, that's my opinion. You know what I mean? I appreciate you sharing your opinion. Mike Haas with a $5 hollow says, this also confirms Pedro isn't in Book of Boba since he hasn't filmed anything since last season of Mando, wouldn't it? COGM is in session with... I don't know what that acronym is, man. I'm sorry. I feel dumb. It's probably something really easy, and I'm totally blanking on it. I don't know if it confirms that or not. I think Pedro might show up in Book of Boba, or at least maybe The Mandalorian does. I also think that it's possible that Disney, especially, like, let's just say this. Let's say there's major beef between Pedro and the studio, which, again, why did he go sign the freaking Last of Us deal if he's supposed to? You know what I mean? There's just a lot going on here. So maybe he's a total diva and there's beef. Maybe there's still beef. Well, maybe Lucasfilm was like, bro, we don't really want you that much. We're just going to use your doubles. You're under contract. Come in and do your ADR. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe he's saying not filming because he's not filming anything. Maybe he's just doing voiceover stuff. I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting. Let's see what else everybody's saying here. Ross says, with a $10 holla, very generous, says, love to the den. You asked the other day, and yes, I'm a history teacher and admin director of equity and inclusion, which means trying to make the high school like the den of nerds. Nice, bro. Thank you for making hardest year ever easier. Oh man, I appreciate that, brother. I really do. And again, just any way that we can sort of provide, that kind of entertainment, that kind of community connection, just a little bit of goodness in people's lives. We know life is stressful, man. Life can be stressful. For sure. For sure. But yeah, man, hey, man, enjoy the summer, bro. Enjoy the summer. And all the teachers out there, enjoy the summer. I'm sure it's crazy taking care of those kids like that all the time. Big Stevie says with a $5 hello, what? People go too wild with their super chats? Who are these nut jobs you speak of, sir? I mean, there's a few. There's a few. Prince Zodiac with a $5 hello says, wouldn't Cap escape discipline from the TVA because living his life with Peggy doesn't make two of them? The other is frozen and not present. So that could be the case. I think that there's a lot to still be revealed as far as how those rules exactly work, because there's some confusion and seeming contradictions happening right now. And I can't help but think that the current TVA that we're looking at may not have existed without the events of Avengers Endgame. I mean, they kind of imply this, right? Where she says that was supposed to happen. Meaning like that, which I do think will break things, is going to set up the possibility of like maybe Kang or whatever, or even just the TVA and the Time Lords coming to be, So there could be some weird connection there. But yeah, I don't know. We don't know exactly. We don't know exactly what's going on with him and Peggy. There's a lot of mystery there. So perhaps some of that will be explained as we move forward. Machine Gun Carter says, Loki made me cry. I love it. Star Wars is screwed. Yeah, Loki's great, man. Loki is pretty incredible. I really, really like the show. Watch it again. Watch it probably 3 times now, I think. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, man. Marvel Studios deserves a lot of credit for that. And again, it's just so cool because it's getting me really excited about the future with Waldron being the Doctor Strange guy and with some of these, new things being teased, the Secret Wars connections. It's real, real cool. X-Wing says, sup, Josh? Thoughts on Pascal saying they are going to do a season 3 in the Ewan McGregor actor interview? Oh, yeah, no, I just touched on this, brother. I think that, like I just said, I think that it's possible that colloquially or just in people's like sort of personal vernacular, they are thinking Mando 3 when that thing they are calling Mando 3 may not be Mando 3. Okay? I think that's sort of at the heart of all of the confusion here. And if you look at what Jordan Mason's tweets were, where he's saying, the Mando filming stuff, been avoiding getting into it because there's not much concrete. Filming has been going on for a bit. He's referring to Mando 3 there. A while, if something I heard is true, meaning he thinks Mando 3 could even be wrapped. Something else might be going on too. Okay, well, what's the something else? Maybe a reason it wouldn't technically be considered season 3. That's the whole point. That is the whole kit and caboodle, as it were, X-Wing. Is there a season 3? Are people like Pedro in this interview calling something season 3 that technically isn't season 3? I don't know. Get your doobly dabblies technically in a technical bunch, and I don't know. You come up with the solution to this problem. Enrique Robel says Loki is the elite Disney Plus show because of Obi-Wan. Because of Obi-Wan. I think you might be on something there. Prince Zodiac with a $2 hello says, could Nightmare Department be where pruned variants go? Holy mother of pearl. I don't know about that. It sounds pretty friggin' devious. Sounds pretty crazy to me. So I like it, but I don't know if it's the way, as it were. Josh I with a very generous $10 hello says, yo, Josh, can you give my son, Luke Walker, a shout out? It's his last day of kindergarten and it's his birthday. Appreciate all you do. P.S. Take my money, brother. Okay, look, Luke Walker. Young Nerdvenger Luke Walker. Last day of kindergarten. It's a big deal. Now you're going to go hang out with the big kids, do big kid things, start to really grow up. It's a big deal. Also, your birthday? Incredible. What a day. Hopefully you get treated. Maybe a nice dinner, some snacks. I don't really know what you're into. Maybe some V-Bucks. If the kids are still doing that Fortnite thing, maybe some TikTok. I don't know. I don't know what kids like. I don't know. But happy birthday to you, Luke. And congratulations on your graduation. Big things are coming. Sheev the Wise with a very generous $10 holla says, Pedro joked to Ewan about telling him everything right after and talked about having to keep secrets like Baby Yoda. He also brought up his contract. Josh just low on Star Wars right now. No, that's not true at all, Sheev. That's not true at all. Look, I understand the emotional. By the way, this is not an emotional thing. Like, I'm just trying to report. I'm just trying to be honest. And I think that Star Wars fans, even ones like Sheev, are in some ways unable to accept that there are still very negative things going on over at that corporation, and there are huge disconnects between the brand and its former glory and the wide swath of people that love Star Wars and that want to love Star Wars. And so if me talking about how this is very real, like this is actual conflicting reports, if you can't accept that that's legit shit and not just me being low, then I don't know what to do for you, Sheep. Still love you, though, and you're still going to be doing the watch party for Bad Batch for us. But you're dead-ass wrong about that, brother. Barbaric Riemann for the $5 holla says, what if Boba and Mando 3 both shot at the same time? They keep actors in the dark all the time. I mean, I think that could absolutely be part of it. I think there's a lot of confusion going on with that, 100%. I do think that it ultimately will work itself out, but who knows how it will work itself out. And again, I think part of the reason I do want to continue to bring this up is that I think there are still people that can't believe that there was drama last season. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but to me, there's so much evidence to prove that there was beef, that things rapidly changed. I mean, guys, I don't know how many times I got to repeat this. Very good sources, confused, told me there is no Boba Fett show. Told me, stop reporting about Boba Fett. There is no Boba Fett show. Mando Season 3 is totally coming. There is no Boba Fett show. Guys, Book of Boba is obviously real. We're obviously talking about it. And it's the obvious replacement for The Mandalorian Season 3. Why would the most popular show on the planet stop doing seasons that are absolutely crushing it to do a spin-off show for a character that was just reintroduced back into the canon? Think about it. You know what I mean? Think about it. I'm starting to get pissed off. Krim says, I was on your side about Boba on Nerd Theory. This is the way. Thank you, Krim. Dr. Cool with a $5 holla says, first episode of Book of Boba, Boba kills Cara Dune and Mando. Take my money. You know what? To be honest with you, it wouldn't even shock me. It wouldn't even shock me. It wouldn't even shock me. I told you guys, and this was a joke, but also some kind of real shit. If Boba's introduction into The Mandalorian Season 2 was literally him coming out and capping both the child and Mando in the head and looking at the camera, taking a cigar out of his mouth and saying, it's my show now, I would have stood and applauded for probably an hour straight. I don't really care about the Mandalorian. He's a cool character, but he ain't no Boba. You know what I mean? He ain't no Boba to me. So for me, it's all about Boba. In fact, now I refuse to even believe there will be a Mandalorian Season 3. I'm going to start to make a bunch of videos about how there shouldn't be a Mandalorian Season 3, that we shouldn't bring Pedro Pascal. I hope you're all happy. I hope your skepticism has got you the reward that you want. Anyways, Ross says, RDJ's Sweet Tooth on Netflix is amazing. Highly recommend. Actually, I've heard a lot of good things about that show. I definitely want to check it out, but I don't know. There's a lot of good things going on out there in the entertainment realm of things, you know. A lot of cool stuff to watch out for. A lot of fun to be had. All right, let's see here. Let's see what's going on in the chat. We'll hang out for a little bit, and then we'll get on out of here. We'll get on out of here. Yeah. What's going on? What are you guys thinking about? What's on your mind, guys? What's on your mind? Have I seen Lucifer on Netflix? It's really good. No, I haven't seen it. I mean, I've heard it's a cool show. But yeah. Do they have one stagecraft set to film on? No, there are 3 stagecraft around the world. There is one in, I believe it's Australia, and then England, and then LA. And apparently they're massive, dude. These are not small. They're way bigger than the original soundstage, the first one that they built. I believe. That's what I've been told. Did you and Elisa watch the Hugh Jackman trailer? We did not. I don't know. I don't really know what that is, to be honest. I think it's Atlanta and not England. Well, there could be more. They could have like a smaller one or something in Atlanta. But yeah, that's what I heard, is that there were 3 so far. Masma says you need to shut your mouth when talking about killing Grogu. Yeah, you're probably right. No Reason Nerd says, Josh, maybe a Prime stream question, but have numbers on YouTube for Loki been down? Wondering if Wednesday is giving YouTubers a hit. Yeah, so I haven't looked into it. For us, I would say the numbers were not great. The stream numbers were great, but the video numbers were not great. And I don't really know what to make of that exactly. We haven't been really covering a lot of Loki, so that could be on us for not having sort of been in the rotation out there and building like authority in those keywords, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to look at like what some of the other, larger YouTubers are doing. I want to see what their numbers are. I haven't talked to Paul about it or whatever yet. I'm interested to see what's going on with that. But I do have my theories that the Wednesday release is causing some hype issues. You know what I mean? It's too early. We don't know. And even WandaVision did not really start getting super hyped until like 3 or 4 episodes in, when people were like, oh, I really like this. This is really intriguing. And then like people were flocking to content online about it. So we'll see. Maybe a similar pattern happens with Loki. We'll just have to wait and watch. Brandon Moore, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. Green badge. So welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Let us see here. Enrique Robo says, realistically speaking, how far out is Secret Wars from being able to be seen? Need Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man again. Spidey and Iron Man reunion will make me cry. Yeah, so I believe it will be probably 2025, as early as 2025. That's my anticipation for Secret Wars, the timeline. Would be around 2025. And I think you could still definitely get RDJ to come back for that. I absolutely think that could be the way. Axid says, did you check out Spider's Shadow? It's sick, man. No, I have not checked it out, bro. Sorry. But maybe I will. Is that like one of the freaking... Is it a Marvel comic that's going on right now? I'm blanking on what this even is. Oh, it is a comic. Ooh, seems pretty interesting. Spider's Shadow, you say? I like the art. Dang. Okay. I'll check this out. I might be going to the comic book shop right after this, so maybe I'll check it out then. What else is going on with y'all? What else is going on? Thoughts? We get Kang Wars first, then Secret Wars. Maybe they will blend Kang Wars and Secret Wars together. You know what I mean? There's the ability for them to do that. I think it would be kind of cool. Yeah. Spider-Man Spider's Shadow. This is cool. How come I didn't know nothing about this? I'm out of touch with my comics. I'm out of touch. I got to get back in touch. TVA equal Council of Kangs or nah? I'm not sure. I feel like there's a lot of mystery in there, and I hope it's something that's different than kind of what we're expecting. You know what I mean? Because I think we're sort of on a line with that, and I would love to see it kind of do its own thing. You told me before. I know you told me before. Yeah. Let's see here. Josh, sent you a DM on Discord Monday. Okay, I will definitely check that out, bro. I will definitely check that out. I just hope that they actually show Kang and it's not another Mephisto. I agree. Inception-esque reminiscence. Okay. Gotcha. Krim, are you like all about this Jackman movie? Is this like the new hot thing? Do I have to be on top of all the things that happen for Reminiscence now? They already showed Kang. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Where's the Surfshark sign? It should be on there, is it not? There it is. By the way, definitely should be checking out Surfshark if you don't have a VPN. Surfshark is the official sponsor of the Den of Nerds live morning streams and a lot of our content. You can use code NERDS at checkout to save 83% and get 3 months free with Surfshark. Honestly, here's the deal with Surfshark. This is the pitch. It's just as good, if not better, than all the other VPNs, and it costs less, and you're going to be supporting the Den of Nerds. That's pretty much all you should need to know. If you're one of those people that doesn't have a VPN, you're doing it wrong. Go get your VPN. Do it today. You'll feel good about yourself. Do it. Do it. All right, guys. I think we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Listen to me talk about Star Wars. Man, some of you Star Wars fans are like, get so like freaking butthurt about this stuff. It literally is like, oh man, I don't even feel like talking about it, to be completely honest with you. But I assure you, it is not for clicks. It is not for spite. It is actual reporting. So shut your mouth when you're talking to me. I swear to God. I swear to God. Some of you are going to drive me crazy. All right, everybody. Much love. Much love. See you in the next one. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video. Did everybody go? Is everybody gone? Everybody go? Hopefully all the Star Wars fans left. Freaking Star Wars fans. Anyway, small tease for those of you here for the stinger. Elisa and I are picking up the pups. Our Shiba puppies this weekend. And I think we're going to delay the Nerdvenger stream till later at night so that we can bring the puppies on stream and show you all these pups. So if you're a Nerdvenger member, I think we're going to do that, guys. We'll probably plan for like 6 or 7. I know it'll be weird. We're not going to keep that time. We'll do it like a little bit. We're just this weekend, and we'll go back to regular time after that. But yeah, gonna be picking them up. They're kind of far away, so it's a long drive. So it'll be a long day of driving. But then we'll do the Nerdventure stream. We'll show you all some pups, which I named Luke and Leia because I love Star Wars, despite what some of you think. Okay, enough of the butthurt. All right, love you guys. See you soon.